There's a very exaggerated body inclination from Andrea Dale. Leans really severely over when he's in the turns, even when he's not under karting pressure. There you see it to the left-hand side. Here you see it to the right-hand side, although we cut away a little bit sharply. But a very, very distinctive race style. And he has been consistently, across all his races, half a second quicker than everybody else. And 3:04 bidding to take a place, and does so. That was Douglas Lundberg going up into third place from fourth. And our television pictures capturing that move nicely. Again, a little replay of this. In fourth place, and there goes the dive out by kart 304 Douglas Lundberg, and just catching Marion Kramer's just a little bit unawares. Kramer's relegated temporarily, therefore, into fourth place. Well, I say temporarily, he might be permanently there, but you know what I mean? It's very much a long race. Well, just looking down, kart 34, I think that might have been, well, again, let me not say who I think it might have been. I'm just a little bit disappointed to see drivers who are last early on when they're detached by a mile, as it were. Kart 369, Andrea Dale getting detached pretty much. Fastest lap to Ricardo Romkemer, who raced in the top four in the pre-final this morning, but then fell away and had to start a lot further down the field than he would have chosen, but getting a quick lap early on. Ricardo Romkemer, one of several Dutchmen, he started in the 22nd position, has already made forward progress on that. We're on lap 3, and kart 312 in your sights is Finn Koyman. Andrea Dale dips his head really low. Finn Koyman just behind him, but closely followed by Lundberg, and Lundberg gets another place. And Douglas Lundberg, who started in P5, is now up to P2. Douglas Lundberg, starting from the inside of row 5, is now running in second place, having just overtaken Finn Koyman. Let's have a look at that again. Finn Koyman doesn't do a lot wrong there, does he? But that tiny little gap that was left is exploited by Douglas Lundberg, and he's set the fastest lap on that lap, so he was certainly winding up the wick for a move on Finn Koyman. All he's got to do now is overtake Andrea Dale, and he leads the final. However, Andrea Dale is in a lead of very nearly a full second, and Andrea Dale tends to lap at a half a second quicker than everybody else. Let me just have a look at those numbers. 53.73 for Andrea Dale, 53.85 for Douglas Lundberg. So Lundberg is a lot quicker than a lot of the people have been when chasing down Andrea Dale. Dale's fastest lap, 53.73. We were down into the 52.9s in the pre-final with the KZ class. The KZ2s, 53.7 for Andrea Dale, the fastest of those out there presently. You're seeing him, the race leader, just disappear to the right. This is Douglas Lundberg in second place. A little bit later on the brakes by Finn Koyman. So Finn Koyman just getting a little bit closer to Douglas Lundberg by virtue of the later braking on that particular corner. Finn Koyman in front of Jan Mudala, who I have to say I'm very much making the point that I'm quite neutral when I call my races. I truly am neutral when I watch them anyway. But Jan Mudala, I did feel, got a little bit of a misfortune in the sense that I thought he started that race a shade quicker than Andrea Dale, but somebody was climbing onto the back of his kart when he might have accelerated away. However, he's in fourth place and looking threatening now. The Irishman sets the fastest lap. John Norris in 19th place, 53.7. The Irishman has had 2 non-finishers in the event so far when well placed, so he hasn't had the best of good fortune. And there's Mudala bidding to go up into third place, and does so. So Finn Koyman, who was running in second, is now relegated to fourth, and your 1, 2 and 3 is Dale 1, Lundberg 2, Mudala 3. And there's our picture of that, not a hint of any contact. Good move by Mudala, sensible driving by Koyman, who didn't try to do something silly when the passing move was pretty inevitable. Cresson, who started way down in 32nd place, I think is up to 22nd that we saw on our caption then. So a good drive by the Frenchman from the back, even though he's not likely to get into the podium places from there. Jan Madala's quick lap, 53.38, so he's on a bit of a charge, but he's got a few lengths to make up on Douglas Lundberg at the moment. We're on lap 7 of a 23-lap race. Middle of your screen there, Nigel Edwards, race director, appeared to be on the radio to one of his colleagues, no doubt. Maybe a case of just keep an eye on such and such, or what did you think of that? Finn Koyman in 4th place is clear of Fabian Federer 5th, Andreas Hansen 6th, Joel Johansson up to 7th, Simone Brenner 8th, Michele Di Martino 9th, and Mike Siebeck of Germany completing the top 10. Madurla's fastest lap at 53.2. Really is quick, isn't it? 53.255 in comparison. 369 Andrea Darley. There, that exaggerated body lead. I have seen drivers lean as much as that, but usually when they're in a really, really tight racing situation, not when they're clearly out in front. Using the full width of the tarmac as he's entitled to. I know our officials are a little bit, what shall we say, anxious to stop people deliberately always taking a wider sweep beyond the outer white line, and the message has got through. Our television pictures there showing you that everybody keeping within the white lines. 3:25 on your screen now is rather well down the field. It's Ricardo Romkemer, and Ricardo Romkemer is in 27th place. Seamus Judavicius, the tallest man in international kart racing, 2 meters tall, sets a fastest lap of 53.1. He's just knocking on the door of the top 10 in 11th place. Well, this is a good race now, isn't it? Because we're looking at Douglas Lundberg in 2nd place and Jan Madala in 3rd place. And Madala, the message to all of us is loud and clear. I don't want to be here in 3rd place. I want to be at least in 2nd place. If I'm going to lose out to Darley, I want to be the only person behind Darley and not further back. Jan Madala has only been beaten by Darley. He was beaten in the heats. It was Madala's only loss there, and he was beaten in this, he wasn't beaten in the pre-final, they were in separate pre-finals, so he's had just 1 loss all weekend. And so Madala wanting to make sure that Lundberg doesn't finish in front of him, because championship points, even if Darley was to run away with this, championship points throughout the season, so precious, the difference between 3rd and 2nd being significant. Nice shot of Finn Koyman in action there on the CRG. He's well clear of Andreas Hansen 5th, Fabian Federer 6th, Joel Johansson still running 7th, Simone Brenner 8th, Michele Di Martino 9th, but Seamus Judavicius with that fastest lap has gone past Mike Siebeck and now is running in 10th place. In fact, Judavicius has gone past Michele Di Martino and is in 9th place. Well, you cannot stop a good man, you can't keep him down. 53.1 for Andrea Darley, the CRG Maxter driver from Italy. Heading towards the half race distance. We've got another lap to go to get there yet, but these 23 lap races over very nearly 32 kilometers, long races, but there's been plenty of action so far. We're watching Jan Madala in 3rd place. Well, that's Finn Koyman we're watching at the moment. Jan Madala tracking down Douglas Lundberg, but at the moment not finding a way past. There is Andrea Darley, dips his head really low, doesn't he? So does Douglas Lundberg, but only for about half a second, and there's Madala's move, and it's gone badly wrong. Well, Madala tried to execute the pass, wasn't able to do so, spun himself and also spun Douglas Lundberg, and that net result is that both of them have lost a lot of places. Let's look again. There's the move. Oh, we won't apportion blame there, but we'll say very unfortunate that both of those front runners have taken a real pounding in terms of the contact and losing places. There's one guy who's quite happy with it. It's Finn Koyman, who gets, if you like, promoted into 2nd place. 3-3-1 there, getting another place forward. 3-3-1, if I read that correctly. Let me double check. Should have been Fabian Federer going past Andreas Hansen, and yet I didn't think that's what it was. Let me do my count. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it was an accurate race call for you at the half race distance. Kart 350, Andreas Hansen. Well, Andreas Hansen will be pretty happy with the way things have gone. Didn't go quite so well for Douglas Lundberg when Jan Maderla tried to go past him. Really impossible to say. It might have been that Maderla tried a passing move that wasn't on. It might have been that Lundberg moved over to try to defend a non-defensible move. We couldn't see from our television pictures, and hey, we don't have to make any race call if that goes to officials subsequently. Just outside the top 20, Sam Webster is 21st, and Manny Huber, who started last, is up to 22nd. When I say last, he was actually on the back row jointly with Daniel Bray. We're on lap 14 now. That was the conclusion of lap 13. Here we see Andrea Dale. I've said in commentary earlier today, there's been some dramatic action behind him today. He's not known anything about it. He's been a dozen or more lengths clear of everyone. Nice action shot there, isn't it? Does have this sort of stiff driving style and the body leaning over to one side, but hey, it's effective. It's very pronounced, isn't it? Nice action shot here, not under any kind of pressure, and yet sometimes that sort of stiff feeling, you gain the impression, not sort of flowing with the kart, but all drivers' styles are different, and the one thing none of us can say, either a non-racer like me or the racers behind him, nobody can say it's not right for Andrea Dale, because his answer is, well, did anybody beat me in the heats yesterday? Did anybody beat me on the pre-final this morning? Is anybody in front of me now? And the answer to all the questions, no, they are not. Andrea Dale, Finn Koyman, Andreas Hansen, the 1, 2 and 3. Fourth place Fabian Federer, fifth place Douglas Lundberg, fighting back from that issue. Let me see where Jan Maderla is presently. He's 24th, just climbed up for a place to 24th, and really he will want a long look at the pictures there to see what happened. He would have seen exactly what he thought he saw and exactly what he thought he was executing. He may feel that afterwards that the choice of the move was perhaps not right. He may have felt that somebody else played a part in the collision. 3-3-1 in shot now. Fabian Federer in fourth place. He's just in front of kart 3, and he sets the fastest lap. He's just in front of 3-0-4 Douglas Lundberg and 3-2-3 Seamus Udavicius. Now Seamus Udavicius, who started way down, well, when I say way down, it's, you know, not in the far distant back, but far enough back to need to do a fair bit of work to get forward, in 29th place, is now up to 6th. So let's remind ourselves, this is the KZ2 final in the European Championship. These are the best drivers in KZ2. You've had to start on the 15th row in 29th place, and halfway through the race you find yourself bidding for a podium shot, because in 6th place you see there 3-2-3 is Seamus Udavicius, and trying to get another place. 3-4-2 looking to try to make a move there was Charlie Bizalion, a fair little bit further down. Charlie was outside of the top 20 when I last looked. He's 18th at the moment. 3-1-2 in your shot is Finn Koyman. Just behind him Andreas Hansen. Behind Andreas, Fabian Federer. On lap 17, Andreas Hansen has to measure how he would attempt to pass on Finn Koyman, because Fabian Federer definitely in a position to make a move if something should go badly wrong. This is the scrap for third, fourth and fifth, second, third and fourth, excuse me. Andrea Dale just having gone through in the lead, and there is the move by Andreas Hansen, and by 3-1-2 Finn Koyman and Andreas Hansen, and Fabian Federer not in a position to make the move that I originally anticipated he might have done. 3-1-2 Finn Koyman remains second, Andreas Hansen remains third, and Fabian Federer in kart 3-3-1 is still in fourth place. But our pictures showing you just how close this racing is. Finn Koyman in second place is the leader of this trio. Andreas Hansen is the middleman, and Fabian Federer, the third of these three, in fourth place in the race. We're on lap 18 of a 23-lap race, so we're moving to the final quarter. Well, Andrea Dale is 5.2 seconds clear. So if you say, well, where's the race leader? And there's the move by Andreas Hansen. Does it take him into second? Yes, it does. Oh, and that was a brave move by Fabian Federer, because that could have gone wrong. And Finn Koyman now going down from second to fourth. And the Dutch teenager is not going to be pleased at the end of this race if he doesn't make the podium. Let's have a look again. Here he is in second place. Andreas Hansen moves forward to go second. And before Finn Koyman can defend, Fabian Federer puts his nose cone in between and says, hey, I'm going to have a piece of this. I'll move up into third place. And he does. Fabian Federer, therefore, now in third. Finn Koyman in fourth. Now, what can the Dutchman do to try to... Nigel Edwards making more notes. I think Nigel Edwards is making more notes than a court shorthand writer. But then there's plenty of action out there, isn't there? Confirmation that Andrea Dale has increased his lead at the front to 5.8 seconds. Why do we not see a lot of him? Well, he's out there all on his own. We'd rather show you the close racing, but we will tell you he's set a fastest lap at 53.0. There he is. The CIK-FIA looking immaculate, isn't it? And the Maxter engine isn't doing so badly either, setting another fastest lap. Andreas Hansen in second place, Fabian Federer third, Finn Koyman fourth. Little bit of ground to be made up by Seamus Udavicius in fifth place if he wants to get any higher than that fifth place, if he's got designs on Finn Koyman's fourth. There is Andrea Dale, again that exaggerated upper body movement. This is the home straight. Looks very short with our foreshortened camera, but it's about 150, 160 metres long, so it's not a short straight. It's a very legitimate straight, moving to turn one and into the initial infield, sweeping left and then left again, and that minor left before we turn at the hairpin right to come onto the freeway straight. Now, this is the longest straight on the circuit. Long way down as Dale sets another fastest lap, this time 53.017, and we move into the complex. And this is the Serpentine, the short straights, three short straights with the two hairpins providing a Serpentine. Andreas Hansen is in kart 350. You see him in shot now, defending second place against Fabian Federer and Finn Koyman, who had very, very legitimate designs on a podium place, just dropping away a little bit now on lap 21. Andrea Dale, in the meantime, in shot, still leaning far over to the right and then far over to the left. It's maybe not the prettiest driving style, but as I keep saying, nobody's beaten him today. He won the qualifying competition. He was quickest in free practice. He won qualifying practice, all his heats. He won his pre-final this morning, and I'm not saying anything to put the mockers on, but he's not doing badly in the final, is he? Leading by 5.9 seconds as we have a couple of laps remaining. It's under a couple of laps for him. This is a good race for second and third, though. Andreas Hansen of Denmark in second place. Fabian Federer of Italy in third place. Sweeping now onto that home straight, because there is the start of the last lap for Andreas Hansen. Start of the last lap for Fabian Federer. It doesn't look as if Federer is going to be able to get close enough to mount a challenge to Hansen. So Hansen looks like taking the second best points. Here is the guy who's looking to have cleaned up throughout the event. And I would have to say, I say again, I am a totally neutral journalist, totally neutral commentator, but it really would be a travesty if anybody other than Andrea Dale won this one. It's a long time since I've seen somebody dominate an event like this, and half a second quicker than everybody else in every lap. Well, speaks for itself, doesn't it? Let's watch these last couple of turns to the right, sweeping past the pit turn onto the home straight for the 23rd time. Your winner is Andrea Dale of Italy.